Nathan?
Aku tekan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our practical project presentation. My name is Muhammad Saufi from DKN4A, and there is my group mate Nur Faradila and Muhammad Syafi. Okay, let's continue the second slide with Nur Faradila.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Faradila. I will present. Firstly, I will present about the introduction. The past field study that we have done was conducted to a supermarket, which was chosen which was chosen as the location to be studied. We must observe a task that exposes the employee to ergonomic risk factors related to extremity musculoskeletal disorder, which is MSD. For this practical project, we required to complete a ruler employee assessment worksheet given according to the chosen workplace. We need to explain step by step of the ruler template and the reason of the scoring. Next, problem statement. The present study focused on the musculoskeletal problems faced by the employee working in supermarket. As attempt has been made to study and assess the job activities and work related to musculoskeletal problems and other postural problems. When a worker is exposed to MSD risk factor, they begin to fatigue. When fatigue outruns their body's recovery system, they develop a musculoskeletal imbalance. Over time, as fatigue continues to outrun recovery and the musculoskeletal imbalance persists, a musculoskeletal disorder develops.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Muhammad Syami and I will present about the result of our finding at the supermarket. So for the first one, the first step is locating the arm and the wrist analysis, which is we get the score of 3, and the score of number 3, the degree is 20 degree and 45 degree. And for the upper arm is abducted. This happened because the conveyor belt of the supermarket is aligning with the cashier hip height. Next is the second step, which is the locating lower arm position. For the second step, we have obtained the score of 2, and the degree of the arm position is between 80 to 100 degree, and the arm movement is moving from the left to right. This happened because on the conveyor belt is locating within the minimum arm reach of the cashier, which is the left and right. Moving on is the third step, which is the locating a wrist position. So for the third step, we have obtained the score of 3, and the degree of the wrist position is 50 degree upward and 50 degree downward. This happened because the cashier needs to serve the customer by putting the item inside their plastic bag. Next is the wrist twist. So for this, the wrist twist is a mid-range, and this it have score of 1. This happened because the cashier can conserve the energy of twisting the twist in mid-range while putting item inside a plastic bag or to serve the customer at the counter. Moving on is the fifth step, which is the lookup posture score in table A. We have obtained the score of 4, and the score is rated from the step 1 until step 4. We have obtained before. So the arm and wrist position influence the cashier posture during their working time, and whether it can cause the cashier fatigue or is well in their during their working time. Next is the sit step, the at muscle use score. The cashier is keep repeating the same action more than 4 in a minute. This is because the item that need to scan in larger quantities. Next is the 7th step, which is the add force or load score. This is because the load that usually used in between 4.4 lbs to 22 lbs, and the action used is repeated and static. The reason is the maximum weight of, for example, the reason for the maximum weight of the rice pad is between 5 kg to 10 kg, and the item is always being scanned. Next is the 8th step, which is the in row, which is find a row in table C. The score is obtained is 7, and the score is related from step 5 to step 7 obtained before. The arm positioning and limb position affect the cashier posture. So I will have Sophie to continue for the next step.
Okay, so for the section B, it is also the same with section A and section C. It is also determined by the alignment or the posture of the worker, or in our case, the cashier. So for the step 9 and step 10, we focus on the neck of the cashier. So from the degree, we can determine the score and multiply and added them together, and from that we can look at the table and then refer to the step 9 and step 10, and with that we can get the score of this ruler table. Next. For discussion. Okay, continue.
Okay. So this is a summary from the ruler table. We have simplified the data so it will be easy for us to read the score. So this for the section A, arm and wrist analysis. We get a upper arm score 3 and so on. Next is the neck, trunk and leg analysis. As you can see, we also have summarized it. So next is the conclusion. So from this particular project, we can conclude that the rapid upper limb assessment, or also known as the ruler, was developed to rapidly evaluate the exposure of individual worker to ergonomic risk factor associated with upper extremity MSD. The ruler ergonomic assessment tool consider biomechanical postural load requirement of job task or demand on the neck, trunk, and upper extremities. The objective of the ruler table is to provide a method of screening a working population to assess exposure to significant risk of work-related upper extremity disorder. It also to identify the muscular effort which is associated with working posture and excessive force while performing static or repetitive work, and which may contribute to muscle fatigue and while performing may contribute to muscle fatigue and provide a simple scoring method with an action level output that identify an indication of urgency. Other than that, the ruler table function is also provide a user-friendly assessment tool that require minimal time, effort, and equipment based based on sorry, technical problem. Okay, based on setting. So we'll start work. Other than that, the ruler table function also provide a user-friendly assessment tool that require minimal time, effort, and equipment. Based on the result obtained from the studies conducted in the supermarket, the posture practiced by the cashier while performing tasks are risky and unsafe. More workers are required to work in unsafe conditions, handling loads repetitively. The ruler score for the posture is 7, the high risk category. This can be brought down by incorporating ergonomic design of the workplace. So that's conclude our practical project presentation. That's all for my teammate. Thank you.